What's going on, people? We have my man Tez of Too Deep in the studios with us today. What's going on, people?
Man, I'm chilling. Man.
You chilling? You chilling?
Yeah.
We have Tez in the studio because Tez has an upcoming show, which is December 13th at the Majestic, correct?
Yes, I do.
Tez, man, look, let me get into Tez. Let me get into Tez, people. We're gonna go off the script from the normal. You still got a little echo on the phones? You still got a little echo over there?
It's still like we can work with it.
We're gonna go on and let me talk about Tez, man. Look, let me tell you the first time I came across Tez as a person, right? So I ran across Tez. Was it 2 or 3? How old is your son now? How old is your youngest child?
My youngest child is 2.
2.
Should be 3 on Christmas Eve.
Okay, so look, so
My
nearly
wife's about to kill me.
Right.
look, nearly 3 years ago, I'm at work at my 9 to 5. So I'm at work, and I'm coming out of Baptist East Hospital, and I bump into this vibrant, happy, smiling guy. Right at the time, you know, I'm working, and I'm not. I'm working. You know how when you're at work, you don't really recognize people outside of where you know him from. Like I know him from the stage, so I'm walking. He stopped and said, "Hey, B," and I look. I said, "What's up, man?" And we talked, and he was like, "I said, what you doing here?" He was like, "Man, I'm becoming a father today. I'm having a baby." He had this glow, this smile, and
that's
we
true,
we talked for a minute, man. He ran upstairs and he had his child. I didn't realize it's been 3 years.
Yeah, 3 years.
That was Christmas Eve.
Yep, Christmas Eve.
Man, time goes by fast.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then fast forward to now. I mean, since that time, Tez has been one of the hardest people grinding on Louisville's music scene that I've seen out here working. I mean, I've seen Tez open up at was it Mercury or was it Palace? Mercury Ballroom for was that a Bone concert?
Bone Thugs and Tory Lanez.
At Tory Lanez?
Mm-hmm.
Back when Tory Lanez wasn't even really. I mean, he was Tory Lanez, but not the Tory Lanez we know of now.
Yeah.
So of course, it'd be opening at the Mercury then. So I mean, Tez has been out here grinding, man, and we've been talking behind the scenes, and he was sharing that this upcoming show has some substantial significance because he was thinking about giving up his music career, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Yeah, retiring, man.
Retiring, right?
Yeah, I was done. Completely, I was done because, you know, I was tired of all the BS that I was dealing with. It's a lot of fakeness that happens around when you're dealing with the industry. And I kept feeling like I was left out. And I kept feeling, I just was tired. I was fatigued. I don't really get hyped off of, you know, fake affirmations. You know what I mean? Where people be like, "Oh yeah, you're so good. You this, and that." Like I kind of need you to show me. You know what I mean? What you mean? You know what I'm saying? So I've been doing music for a long time, and I was done. I was over with it. I was like, I can be a good husband, and I can be a good father, and I'm good. You know what I mean? I can work and be good.
Let's take it back to when you first started doing music to up until now. So how old was you when you started doing music?
13.
13?
Yeah.
13 years old.
13 years old.
So would you say music was a gift or just something you picked up from the culture?
It has to be a gift because I was singing in church. That's where when I first started singing, I was in church, you know, doing choir stuff and all of that, and then I actually started rapping because my brother put me in a group called KIG. That's actually how 2D was formed.
So KIG meaning?
Cubic Gangsta.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was Cubic Gangsta.
It's a gangster rapper.
For me? Yeah, man. Don't get twisted.
So this is what? 90s, early 2000s?
This was probably, early 2000s.
Okay.
Early 2000s. And I was with SG Smitty, who was the other half of 2D. We was like 13 at the time. So like when we got together, they only gave us one song on the entire album. So that one song was Too Deep. That was the name of the song. And then we went with it, kind of branched off from there. So yeah, I've been making music and doing stuff ever since then. And then created Iron Royalty when I was 16.
So you were a singer and a rapper?
Yes, I'm an artist.
You're an artist. I was going to say.
Yeah. I'm an artist. I mean, I used to. I was speaking to Dre about this. Like, I used to try to see which one I could do.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I'm just an artist, man. So whatever I feel on the track is what I'm gonna do. I've wrote rap verses that turn into R&B verses. I wrote R&B verses that turn into rap verses. It just whatever I feel like.
Okay, so let's get back into this retirement phase.
Yeah,
right?
okay.
So wait a minute, listen, and the retirement, right?
Yeah.
Is why I'm struggling is because do you feel as though okay, you're one of the artists that I like a lot of artists, but you're one of the artists that I actually listen to, or artists that I actually like, right?
Appreciate that.
And you're one of the artists that, the reason why I listen and like is because we had another artist up here, was it last week or a couple weeks ago? Yep, we had Peter Wesley up here, and not to at all put you guys in the same category of music, but when I look at it as, okay, these guys are not afraid to be artists, and they're stepping out of what can be popular, what's popular right now as far as maybe just gangster rap or spitting what's hot now that you know will probably be pushed to the top, to the forefront, right?
Yeah.
So you and Peter Wesley are some of the artists that I feel that stick to the artistry of music. It's about music. It's not about a particular genre. It's not about what's popular. It's not about what's selling right now. It's what you're true to. And out of that, I've heard great music. I've heard great artistic expression. Is what I've heard out of that. So do you feel that because it's not maybe so much of negative music, or it's not that stereotypical music you hear coming from rappers today, you know, gangster, guns, drugs, whatever, do you feel that because of that sometimes your music is pushed to the rear?
No, I don't really think it's like with me. The reason why I wanted to retire was more of a personal reason. Like had nothing to do with the type of music I was making. If people were actually doing the music with me, or whatever the case may be, it was just that I have felt like it was too much that I have done already to not be acknowledged properly. Now, I was acknowledged, of course. I learned that just going through what I went through. Of course, I was acknowledged, but it was just more that I was wanting, and I was not understanding why I wasn't getting that. You know, because people would ask me questions, and I would have all of it. If you ask me about my paperwork, I got all of that. If you ask me about the website, I got all of that. You ask me about the social media, I got all of that. You ask me have I took my music in different places, yes, because I go to schools and I talk to schools and I perform in different schools. Like I do everything that people quote unquote ask you, do you do? You know what I mean? As a shout out to Party All Weekend, my music is in his movie. Like so, there's different things that I've done, and I just felt like I was tired. Like you know what I mean? I'm in radio as well. You know what I'm saying? So, excuse me. So I was just kind of done. I was like, I'm at a finishing level, and I had to learn that it wasn't really the music. It was that I was stressed out about the job that I was working, and the job that I was working at the time really had me thinking bad things. And I love that job. I love that building. I love that place, and I love everything about that place. But the responsibilities of that job was tearing up relationships. It was tearing up how I felt about music. It was tearing up me. So I had to quit that job in order to, get back to myself. You know what I'm saying?
So can we dig into that for a minute?
That's cool.
So the job, do you mind talking about the job?
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows I work in education as well. So I worked at an early childhood learning center.
Okay.
And when I was there, I was the director of the child care center. And it was not that I couldn't do the job. It just began to put a lot of stress on me, as opposed to my relationship with my wife and my relationship with other people around me. I could tell that I was at work too long throughout the day, and I was missing out on things, missing out on important stuff that keeps a relationship going. Because if you know anything about a relationship, sometimes it's the small things that you do that keeps it going. It's not always the big stuff. It's not always the big gifts and all of that. Sometimes it's just being there. And then I started missing out. You know what I mean? I started missing out on certain things, and then the communication between me and my wife was not as proper as it should have been, and things were just not right. You know what I mean? So I had to stop, because I'm not gonna lose my wife for nobody.
Speak on it, brother. Speak on it.
So I had to get all of that together, and I had to make sure I was good, because I didn't want to lose my wife, I didn't want to lose my family. Now she would tell you I wasn't gonna lose her, but that's just how I felt at the moment. You know what I mean? So I didn't want to put that. I didn't want that to happen. So, and that was draining the music side. So it was just like, I'm not about to keep wasting my time in this music, and then I feel like my relationship is leaving, and then my relationship with other people is just kind of shaky as well. So it's like, nah, something's got to stop. And if it's this job, then I can stop this job, and I can quit this job and get myself together, and I can move on. But I can shout out to DJ Nerdboy, one of my biggest, like one of the bros, man. And he sent me about 10 counselors or something like that. Just a list of counselors. He said, pick one. I mean, I love you, bro. You need to just pick one. Don't tell me who you go to. You ain't got to tell me. Just pick one and go. And I picked one and I went. I've been going. So I got some mental health counseling. And it's been working. It's got my mojo back, bro. So,
Man, round of applause for this young man in the building today. Look, because two things that I'm extremely adamant about that you just touched on is one, in hip hop. In hip hop, marriage and relationships are not always praised, are not always lifted to the forefront.
yeah.
And for you to hold your family and wife in such high regard, I think that's something that we need in hip hop. I think it's something that we need in the black community, and I think it's just something that we need to embrace and promote families, or the essence of a healthy family. To promote that overall, I think is very, very important. The second thing being that mental health. Mental health is somewhat of a taboo in the black community.
Absolutely.
We don't,
Especially with black males.
especially with black males. We don't always. First, we don't always want to admit that there's an issue. That's number one.
Yeah.
Two, we don't want to take responsibility, and three, we don't want to seek out help because there's this stigma with crazy or something like that attached to it, right?
Yeah.
So, being that
He was man enough to admit that he had a problem, and he was man enough to seek help. I think
to find a solution,
Right.
Yeah.
to find a solution, and if need be, sacrifice something you may love,
Yeah, absolutely.
you know, in quest to save what it sounds like you love the most, your family.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
put the family first, which is
Yeah.
major because a lot of people probably would have chose the career over the family.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about the day-to-day career. I'm talking about as far as the music career.
Yeah.
So we commend you on that, man. So let's get back to the concert, right?
Yeah.
So on a happier day. So
Yeah.
now you got your mojo back, right?
Yeah, I got it back, man.
So did you jump back into the studio? Is there any new material? You doing
So,
older material?
What I did was we actually, I was recording. I got back to recording. I started recording with the homie Semi. And Semi is actually an artist. He was born in California. Now he lives here right now. We got together. He's a part of the Iron Royalty Music Affiliation Group.
Okay.
And we did an EP and it actually released yesterday. So we got a brand new EP that's out right now. It's a majority of hip hop. It's not really too much R&B at all.
Okay.
So it's a majority of hip hop albums called By the Horns.
Called
and
By the Horns?
Yeah, By the Horns.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is out. That just released yesterday. So that's the newest thing that came out. I also have a new single that's going to be releasing pretty soon. I'm not even going to give you the title of it because it's going to be a surprise when it happens. So it's going to come out and it's going to be absolutely incredible. So yeah, man, I'm back, bro.
So By the Horns is available on what streaming platforms?
Apple Music and Spotify, and I think it's on Tidal and everything else. But Apple Music and Spotify, I personally saw them. So if you want to go there, then you can do that. And I've shared it on my social media, and that's at Tez the 2 on all social media, and you can find it there as well.
Do you also think, like, because, some R&B is not at the forefront of music right now, do you think there was a reason why your music wasn't being pushed the way it's supposed to?
No, like I said, I really think like the pushing of the music and the style of the music and what was popping at the moment, like none of that really came into play when I was going through it, bro. It was more just me. Like I just was in a situation I just didn't feel like it. Like I was like, I'm in whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm done. I mean, I was content on being on the radio. I was content like, well, I can be on the radio and put on other records. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else can do all of that. And it didn't feel right. Even though I was saying that and I was like trying to be okay with that, it still didn't feel right. So since it didn't feel right, it was like, oh, okay, well, yeah, bro, you need to get this together. So yeah, it's never been about the music, man. I never really felt like R&B. I don't really care. I have a song called Can't Worry. I don't really care about like what people think of my music. I make music for me. So if you don't like it, that's on you. You know what I'm saying? That's your personal choice.
Hey, look, and I think people look from an artistic standpoint to kind of clarify for people that don't know. I'm not an artist or a singer, but I'm a writer, right? So from an artistic standpoint, I feel where you're coming from. If something is not right in my headspace,
Yeah.
I can't write.
It's hard.
So I understand what you're saying about music. If your headspace is not right,
Yeah.
then the creative juices are not flowing the way that you need them to flow.
Absolutely, because you're constantly thinking about something else.
Right.
So even if you get through, even if I'm writing a 16 bar verse and I get through 8 of them, or whatever.